Hello, my name is Ashton. Today I'm going to show you how to make a cassette mixtape. It's pretty simple stuff. You're going to need a few things for this, and it's all very easy to get. The first thing you're definitely going to need is a blank cassette tape. These are pretty easy to find. This is Maxell brand. Maxell still sells cassette tapes in a lot of places. You can buy it in your local record store sometimes. You can definitely buy them on Amazon. They're like $3 a pop. You can get them in 60-minute increments or 90 minutes. You also need if you're planning on recording using your phone, which is what probably most people do, and that's what I do, you'll need an RCA to aux cord. These are also pretty easy to get. Will just be a few dollars. So this plugs into the tape deck that we're going to use, and this will plug into your phone or whatever medium you use to record the music. I also have here, since my phone doesn't have an aux port anymore, I have a USB-C to aux converter, which just means it'll go from my phone into the tape deck. You will need Q-tips and 91% isopropyl alcohol for the purposes of cleaning the magnetic tape head of the cassette deck. And you will also need some device to play the cassette when you're done. I have here a Sony WM-FX197. They made these in the late 90s and the early 2000s. You can any cassette player, but if you don't have something to play the mixtape, why bother making it? Unless you're giving it to a friend. Anyways, that's all you're really going to need. You're really only going to need these two things for sure, and this to make sure that everything's clean, because that's very important. If your tape deck isn't clean, nothing's going to get done. Now let me show you the tape deck. Some portable cassette players will have recording functionalities, but usually they don't sound very good. In fact, they're usually not worth pursuing at all. What you really want is a good tape deck like this. I have a tape deck at home that I use usually, but I bought this at a thrift store, my local thrift store, the other day, for just about $10, as you can see. What I was looking for when I was searching for a cassette player in the thrift store was something large but not too large, with just enough functionality for our purposes. Most of the tape decks that you're going to be looking for that have the recording functionalities are going to have two tape receptacles, one for playing and one for recording. Let's look at the recording receptacle. You have the stop eject button, which will open up the door. You have the pause button, which isn't very useful. And then you have the fast forward rewind button, the play button, and the record button, which will also activate the play button. But it will not activate until a tape is in there. You need all of those things, but as long as it has the record button, you know that it'll be fine. When you're looking for a tape deck in the store, you want to test it in the store to make sure that it's playing correctly. So let's test this. Once it's plugged in, you'll click the power button right there. You'll see some lights come on. This will usually be anywhere from $10 to $40. My tape deck that I use at home costs $30. This costs $10. It depends. You just want to make sure, no matter how much the price is, that it works, and it works okay in the store. Really, the only thing you need to be testing for in the store is you'll press the open button, you'll press the play button, and you will look at the gears to make sure that they spin when they play. You look at them to make sure that they spin when I do the rewind function, which it does. And you see to make sure that the gears spin for the fast forward function, which it does. That works. That works. And that works too. Perfect. So this will suit our purposes just fine. Now I'm going to show you how to set it up. In the back, you'll see RCA inputs and RCA outputs. You have right and left. Right is red, left is white. It's easy to remember because right is red, RR, of course. You'll have input and you'll have output. Output just means that you take the music that's playing and play it out of your speakers. Input means you take music and put it into the tape. So you take your RCA cables, make sure you line up the colors, and plug it into input. Twist it a little bit, make sure it's in there. That's good. Another important step is making sure that the tape deck is clean. And how we do that is using the isopropyl alcohol and the Q-tips. What you'll want to do is take your Q-tip and get a good dab of isopropyl alcohol on there. Not too much, respectable amount. You're going to open up the tape deck, and inside you'll be able to find the magnetic tape head. The magnetic tape head is this little thing right here. The silver rectangle right here. So what I'm going to do now is just make sure that everything in here is fully clean. So first I cleanse the magnetic tape head, which is what plays the music. I'm also going to clean the magnetic recording head, which looks a little bit different. It's black with a thin silver strip. That's what is going to record the audio onto the tape itself. Now I'm going to clean the roller, which is what rolls the tape through. I'm also going to clean this little silver spinner, which holds the tape in place. It's important that all of these things stay clean, otherwise your mixtape audio could sound choppy or muddled, or, in plain words, bad. You just want to make sure that you're getting all that stuff as clean as you can. If you're buying a used tape deck, which you probably are, it will be dirty. So now you know how to clean your tape deck, you're ready to make the mixtape. So you're going to take your RCA cable, plug it into your phone. You'll want the audio to be all the way up on your phone because we'll be controlling the audio from the tape deck itself. You can use anything to record. I'm using my phone, and I'm using YouTube Music. You could use Spotify or YouTube or anything at all. Once you have your song or playlist queued up and ready, you need to get out your mixtape. Your mixtape, side A, side B. Depending on what brand you get, it'll also come with a little sticker sheet, so you can put side A, side B, whatever songs are on what side, and the J card, called so because of the shape. You can write whatever you want on this, doesn't matter. We're going to go ahead and set the stickers, the J card, and the jewel case aside, and just look at the tape. Something important to consider when playing cassette tapes and when recording them is the side that you put in. The side that the tape is on is the side that's ready to play. The left side is always the side you want to be putting in. So right now the tape is on the A side, which is on my left, which means that it's ready to play. It might take a moment to figure out what side you need to put it in because a lot of tape decks will flip around the directions. For our case, you're going to take the A side, put it in so that this part of the cassette tape, where the tape actually is touching the magnetic tape head at the bottom because that's what's doing all the work. Since the magnetic tape head is on the bottom, you want to put this side down. Just like that in there. The first 5 or so seconds of the tape are going to be silent because there is no magnetic tape on that portion of the tape. So you can press the play button for about 5 seconds to wind it up to the black part of the tape, after which we'll take it out and you'll see that the black part of the tape is now there. If you want to, you can wind it to exactly where the white and the black part of the tape meet to ensure that you're using as much of the tape as possible. Once you have the tape in, you're almost ready to record. The only other thing you'll need to do is make sure the recording level is not too high or it will sound bad. It depends. It's different for every tape deck. For now, I'll set it to 4, and hopefully that will be good. You won't really need to worry about any of these buttons here, as long as everything is set to normal. Now that you have your tape deck, it's clean, you have the tape in, and you have your audio recording level set to something low, maybe 3 or 4 or 5, you'll be ready to record. So what I'm going to do is set my phone right here. You can sit on top of the tape deck if you want to. Open up my music app. I'm going to try and hit the record button and then hit the play button. Remember, hit record and then hit play. If you hit play first, you're going to lose a couple seconds of audio on the tape. So I'm going to hit record and then I'm going to hit play with my music playing at full volume. You should see some lights here. These lights demonstrate how loud the recording is. The yellow here is what you want to see. The red is not. That means the audio is going to be a little bit distorted. So I'm going to lower the recording volume from 4 to about 3. You'll see that when I lowered the recording volume from 4 to 3, you see much less reds, just very few reds, and mostly yellows. That means that it's recording at a safe volume. That's not going to distort your audio. So now you sit here and wait for the phone audio, or whatever audio, to record onto your tape. Since we're using a 60-minute tape, you can record 30 minutes of audio on the first side, then take out the tape, flip it to side B, and record another 30 minutes. Or if you use a 90-minute tape or any other variations thereupon, you can, plan ahead. A good way to know how much time you have left is to simply plan out a playlist ahead of time. What I've done in the past when I've recorded mixtapes is timed out how long each song is on my playlist and make a playlist that's about 28 or 29 or 30 minutes so that I know that when the playlist ends, all of the songs will have been recorded. When the tape reaches the very end and it has run out of room, it'll simply stop on its own. You'll hear it click and you can walk over here and take the tape out. Once you've recorded enough, you can simply press the stop eject button and it'll stop recording. And then you can pause the music on your phone. We didn't record the whole tape, but I recorded a few songs, and I'll play them for you now. Now that the mixtape is recorded, or at least a small portion of it, we're gonna make sure that it works. So take your side A, put it in like that, rewind it all the way back to make sure it's in place. Then you can either plug it into your headphones, or in this case, I'll use a speaker. Make sure you plug it into the aux port of whatever cassette player you're using. Now it's rewound. Here's a regular cassette tape I have. This is an NXS album. Sounds pretty good. Let's see how the mixtape sounds. Now, as you can hear, it's not of the best quality, but if you were looking for quality, you wouldn't be making a mixtape. It varies depending on the tape decks. Some tape decks will sound better, some will sound worse. This one's not great. Maybe that's why it was $10. Mine at home tends to sound pretty good. But generally speaking, as long as you can hear the music, that's about as good as it's gonna get. That's what you should expect for a mixtape. This one's fine. I would listen to this. This is it. So you would just do what I've done, but you would play the whole tape, record a whole album's worth, you'd flip it over, put it back in, it would be on this side, record a whole bunch of other songs. And you can listen to it whenever you want. That's how you make a cassette mixtape. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and I'll reply to them. Have a good day.